Prinhanda Pau. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you've had a really lovely week and that you've kept safe and kept learning. I hope you really enjoyed last weekend. How lovely to see some snow. I bet you all had lots and lots of fun building snowmen and having fun in the snow and having a really great time as families. I hope you really enjoyed it. Now, I'd like to start this afternoon by telling you a well-known story about starfish. Let me tell you the story. So, one evening, a man was walking along the beach when he spotted a young boy down by the shore. The man noticed that the beach was littered with starfish that had been washed up by a storm. The starfish were now stranded, with no hope of returning to the sea. As the man watched the boy, he noticed that the boy was picking up the starfish one at a time and throwing them back into the sea. The man was a bit puzzled. How did the boy think he could help by throwing back one starfish at a time when there were so many starfish in need of saving? It was an impossible task. The man walked across the sand to meet the boy. "What are you doing?" the man said. "Well, saving the starfish," answered the boy. "But how can you?" responded the man. "There are so many here to save. What difference can you make?" The boy picked up a starfish lying close to his feet and threw it back into the sea. As the starfish splashed back into the water, the boy said, "Well, I made a difference to that one." I wonder if you understand what that story's telling us or trying to teach us. Now, we're going to show you another short video. Now, this is the same story again, a video of the starfish story. But while this is playing, I just want you to take a bit of time to have a think about what the story is teaching us and pop it onto the live chat so that we can share some of those ideas together afterwards.
One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking up starfish and throwing them into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "Excuse me, but what are you doing?" The boy replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The sun is rising and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." The man laughed to himself and said, "But there's too many starfish on this beach. You can't possibly make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish and threw it into the ocean. Then turning to the man, he said, "I made a difference to that one."
So, Mr. Jones, I wonder if you could just give us a little bit of feedback. We'll head over to Mr. Jones and see some of the answers that were given in that live chat in our question and answer.
Well, hello everybody. We've had a few answers in about that story, and the overwhelming response is that if we can do small things to make a difference. So if lots of people picked out that when they were picking up the starfish and throwing them back into the sea, that it was that those small things can make a difference to one person or one animal or whatever. So that was the kind of general response from everyone. So I'm going to send you back over to Mrs. Jenkins now, who's going to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Yes, that's absolutely right. The story teaches us, doesn't it, that we can all make a difference to the world, no matter how big a problem can seem at times, and no matter how small our actions might appear, just like the boy in the story, we can change the world just a little bit at a time. Now, I wonder if last time you visited a beach, whether you saw any starfish. I also wonder whether you noticed any other things that were lying on the beach. Now, I would imagine there probably weren't lots of starfish on the beaches that you visited, dependent on where you went, but you may have seen litter. And I think we've talked lots and lots about this in the past. On many beaches around the world, there is lots and lots of litter. Now, I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky because I live right by a beach and I see one of my neighbours every week. He's got a very little boy and he and his wife take their little boy with litter pickers and bags down to the beach every single week, and they come back with bagfuls of litter that they found on the beach near where I live, and they do that as a family. I wonder if you can think about any reasons why it is not good to have litter on our beaches. And while you're thinking about that, while you're doing that, and perhaps if you jot some of those ideas down into our live chat, we're going to show you another video about a child cleaning up the litter on a beach.
Hi, I'm Lily and I'm 8 years old, and yeah, that's me. I like the beach because there's lots of things to do there, like build sandcastles and have ice cream there, but I don't like it when it's all windy and you get all wet and cold. But it's fun when you go in the sea. If you don't clean up beaches, like the whole beach is just going to be covered in rubbish and no one's going to care. And then the environment's going to be all stinky and horrible. I like beach cleanups because it's keeping the environment very clean, and if you don't clean up your rubbish, you could be killing an animal. Every time a rubbish goes on the ground and not in the bin, it's another animal like a fox dead, because they can always get their head stuck in a plastic bag or cut themselves on a can or something. When I'm walking on the beach, I like to think about just having fun and how fun my day is going to be on the beach.
So let's have a look at what we think about this and why we think it's important not to drop litter on the beach or anywhere else for that matter. Mr. Jones, can I hand back over to you to see what we've got on the Q&A?
Thanks, Mrs. Jenkins. Well, lots of people have been getting in touch about this, and again, there's been like one overarching message. It's come from Jack, James and Sam and Olivia and Annabelle and Adam and Jacob and Leah, all concerned about how litter can affect sea life and also other animals that use the beach, whether they get stuck in the litter or they swallow it thinking that it's food, which can obviously be very dangerous for them. So that is kind of the overall, that's the common denominator throughout. Children just really worried about how the litter can damage the wildlife that use the beach. So I'm going to hand back to Mrs. Jenkins, who's going to continue for us.
Thanks, Mr. Jones. Lots of really, really important things there. In the story, The boy helped, didn't he? He helped to protect the starfish by putting them back into the water one at a time. And we can all help our planet by doing little things that make a big difference when you put them all together. So our small things that we do individually, collectively, can make a huge difference to our planet. If we all took home our litter when we visited the beach, or when we visited a park or any public space, it would make a big difference. And if every time we visited the beach, we all removed just one piece of litter that didn't belong to us, how quickly could we make a difference? What difference that would make to the creatures in the sea and to that environment around us. Now, taking responsibility for planet Earth can seem like a huge job, but I know how interested all of you are in that. However, just like the boy in the starfish story and the little girl cleaning up the beach, we can all play our part in doing the little things that add up to changing the world together. So let's see what we can do moving forwards. Let's see what we can do, maybe not in the next few weeks while we're still in lockdown, but certainly in the longer term, there's lots we can do to help our planet. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for all your thoughtful ideas. I know how thoughtful you all are because we've talked lots about this in school, and you've got so many ideas of what we can do to look after our planet. Now, I hope you all have a really lovely weekend. I hope you all have a really lovely week to come. And until next time, until next Friday, when we have our next assembly, please stay safe. Please look after everybody, look after each other and keep learning. We'd like to end with one final video about planet Earth. Sit back and enjoy.